Good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started here. In a moment, once we're ready to go. But yeah. Oh, all righty. Thanks. All righty. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to do a slight agenda change. We had one quick item that was actually scheduled at the end, a request for an extension on a plat filing. But other than that, we've got 3 special use by review packets to consider. Those will be done in public hearing. The extension's kind of a legislative item, but for the special use hearings, they'll all run in generally the same manner. Staff will present the application and their recommendation. We'll invite the applicant or the representative to add any more detail. We may have questions of staff or applicant's rep. We'll invite public comment, if any, ask the applicant staff to respond to anything that may come up during public comment, and then we'll move on to a decision. And that decision can be to approve with conditions, potentially continue if there were things that, information that's not available to us or that we feel we need to have available for a final decision or denial. So I think that's burned up enough time to get the cameras rolling. So with that, let's say it's 1:03 on the 10th at the Elbert County Fairgrounds. We're coming out of recess from this morning's BOCC session. Amanda, could you call the roll, please? Here.
Here.
Here. All righty. Thank you very much. So, as I said, the first item we'd like to take today is the request for extension on the Elbert Hills Minor Development 180095 Subdivision Improvement Agreement. So, I think, CJ, you were going to speak on that. And if you have to pull the mic out, I don't think it's on right now. I don't see the green light. So. All righty. Oop. Whoop.
Good afternoon.
There you go.
I did send an email or a letter in a little over a week ago. We have at this point in time expired our 1-year deadline to complete the improvements at Elbert Hills. I believe everybody's aware of the reason for that. Obviously, County Road 178 has a big impact on it, and I know that we're making really good progress there, so I don't have any doubt that we'll be able to make a deadline extension if granted. I did ask for a year, only because that's what the original SIA has, and whatever you guys are comfortable with, we'd be happy to take the extension.
Okay, thanks. Any questions or comments? Comment, or?
No. As I understand it, the road is moving along in terms of permitting and that kind of stuff. So I think that I'm willing to vote yes for a 6-month extension.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm kind of feeling the same way. We'll kind of monitor progress. I don't see a problem with extending further if that's needed, but I think we're moving at a rate where you could get filed and going. So I'd accept a motion to extend that by 6 months.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the request for an extension to Elbert Hills MD 18-0095 for 6 months.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for a 6-month extension to minor development 18-0095's filing of the final documents. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. Alrighty, so with that, we'll move on to the first hearing today is to hear a use by special review application for the Messer Event Center. I'd accept a motion that we open public hearing on this item.
I'll make a motion, we open public hearing in Messer Event Center SU-19-0099.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing on the Messer Event Center SUR. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We're in public hearing. And then, once you get up and running, we'll turn that over to staff.
Thank you, Commissioners. It doesn't want to seem to read our PowerPoint here. Apologize for that, folks. All right, today we're taking a look at the Messer Event Center Special Use by Review, SU-19-0099. This is a request for a special use by review to allow for an existing event center located on approximately 20 acres at 33955 County Road 37, Kiowa. The property owner is Ralph Messer. The applicant representative is Tom Maroney. The size of the property is 20 acres. A pre-application meeting was held October 3rd, 2019. The community meeting was waived in the pre-application meeting. A formal application was made April 21st, 2020. The referral process ran from May 13th to June 3rd of 2020. The Planning Commission was originally scheduled for September 1st, 2020, and continued to a date certain of October 6th, 2020. On October 6th, it was continued to a date certain of December 15th, and on December 15th, it was continued to a date certain of February 16th, 2021. The Board of County Commissioners was originally scheduled for August 12th, 2020, and on January 13th, 2020, it was continued to March 10th, today, and the applicant gave public notice to reflect this new date of public hearing. Notice of public hearing was published in the Elbert County News on January 21st, 2021. Public notice sign was posted on property January 28th, 2021, and mailed notices were sent to property owners within 1,320 feet of the subject property boundary on January 28th, 2021. Here we have the notarized certification of mailing, the notarized certification of sign posting, and the affidavit of publication. Here is an aerial map. You can see State Highway 86 on the bottom of the picture and County Road 37 with the site just north of those intersections. Here's the area zoning map. All properties in the area are zoned agriculture besides the property that is also owned by the applicant, which is zoned commercial to the south. Here's the proposed SUR exhibit. A little history. On October 3rd, 2019, a pre-application meeting was held with Tom Maroney, Christina Stanton, Greg Loudenslager, and Fire Chief Jerry Lemansky. On April 21st, 2020, formal application was submitted and deemed complete. On May 13th, 2020 through June 3rd, 2020 was a 21-day referral. On July 14th, 2020, notice was mailed to property owners within 1,320 feet of the subject property. On July 16th, notice was published in the Ranch Land News. And on August 4th, 2020, the Elbert County Planning Commission opened public hearing and continued this case to a date certain of September 1st, 2020. On September 1st, 2020, the Planning Commission continued this to a date certain of October 6th. On October 6th, it was continued to a date certain of December 15th. On December 7th, 2020, the Kiowa Fire District formally withdraws their previous referral comment of no objection. In an email dated December 7th, 2020, Deputy Chief Ogborn indicates the following: an annual fire code inspection of the arena, office building, and any other associated buildings on the property will be required. Fire lanes must be clearly marked on all sides of the building. Access and egress must be improved. Currently, there is only one way in and one way out of the property. And any events over 250 attendees requires an inspection and approval by the fire district prior to the event. On December 8th, 2020, the Elbert County Public Works and the Colorado Department of Transportation formally withdraws their previous referral comments of no objection. In an email withdrawing their previous referral comment, Public Works stated that quote, the applicant has far surpassed the number of vehicle trips per day count per their traffic letter. The applicant has held several events over the past several months that have had well over 100 attendees. Elbert County Public Works is now making the following a condition of approval. The applicant will have to construct an XL-decel lane on the north side of State Highway 86 and an eastbound left turn lane per the CDOT recommendation as stated in a previously forwarded email. All engineering designs must be approved by CDOT prior to Elbert County approval. On December 8th, 2020, the Elbert County Building Department formally withdraws their previous referral comment of no objection. In an email dated December 8th, Faith Mayer indicated that, quote, the building department will need to inspect the current facility and we will require a permit to be pulled for the change of occupancy. The applicant should be aware that changing the occupancy to assembly will include new code requirements, some of which may include permanent bathroom facilities, sprinkling requirements, access and egress for safety, among others. On December 15th, 2020, the Planning Commission continued this item to a date certain of February 16th, 2021. On January 13th, 2021, the Board of County Commissioners continues this to a date certain of March 10th, 2021. On January 21st, 2021, notice was published in the Elbert County News. On January 28th, 2021, notice was mailed to property owners within 1,320 feet of the subject property. On February 3rd, 2021, the Kiowa, the Kiowa Fire District formally submits their support for approval with the following 3 conditions. First, the business must be subject to annual fire inspections. 2, the business must notify the Kiowa Fire Protection District at a minimum of 1 week prior to any event that will be scheduled to have more than 250 people in attendance. This will allow the fire district to inspect the premises for fire safety compliance. And 3rd, a fire apparatus access road driveway shall be designed and maintained to support the imposed loads of fire apparatus up to 56,000 pounds and shall be surfaced so as to provide all-weather driving capabilities, including gravel, road base, or recycled asphalt, and comply with the fire department vehicle access requirements for each building. On February 3rd, 2021, the Elbert County Sheriff, Tim Norton, confirms his support for approval. Sheriff Norton confirmed that he has agreed to provide traffic control and security for large events at the Messer Event Center, carrying the cost of these services provided by the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Norton specified that traffic control would consist of a minimum of 2 police cruisers with flashing lights and uniformed officers directing traffic at the intersection of County Road 37 and State Highway 86. The responding referral agents in this case were Elbert County Public Works, Elbert County Health and Human Services, Elbert County Assessor's Office, Elbert County Building Department, the Colorado Division of Natural Resources, the Intermountain Rural Electric Association, the Kiowa Fire District, Elbert County School District, and Phillips 66. Of these that weren't previously mentioned, the Colorado Division of Water Resource referral is worth noting that this is an excerpt from a letter dated May 6, 2020. In order to use the existing well for commercial use in an event center, a well permit allowing such uses will need to be obtained. The applicant has stated that no water will be used for any uses associated with the event center. The second referral responding agencies were the Elbert County Public Works Department, Elbert County Building Department, Kiowa Fire District, and the Elbert County Assessor's Office. All of these had no objection with, but they did request conditions of approval excluding the Assessor's Office. Impact fees will be triggered by the change of occupancy for the indoor arena to assembly. Indoor arena is 300 feet by 160 feet, which is 48,000 square feet. Agricultural impact fees are calculated at $1,147 per 1,000 square feet. This is calculated to come out to $55,056 in total impacts fees. Special use by reviews are evaluated utilizing the criteria listed in Article 3E5 A through H of the Elbert County zoning regulations. A, whether the use is in harmony and compatible with the surrounding area and neighborhood. This use is compatible with the surrounding agricultural, commercial, and residential land uses in the surrounding area. B, whether the use will not have an undue burden on available infrastructure. The Colorado Division of Natural Resources has indicated the applicant will be required to drill a new commercial well for this use if approved. However, the applicant has stated they will not be using any water for the commercial uses associated with the Messer Event Center. C, whether the use will not unduly increase traffic congestion or burden the existing road system. If the size and frequency of events is accurately portrayed in the formal application, then it is not anticipated that the use will have an undue burden on available infrastructure. However, multiple referral agencies have expressed concern that the size and frequency of events is not accurately portrayed in the formal application. The determination of the need for an XL-decel lanes is ultimately the responsibility of CDOT. The applicant's representative, Tom Maroney, has indicated that the applicant will comply with the determination of CDOT regarding the XL-decel lanes. D, whether the use will not cause significant air, odor, water, noise, or light pollution. It is not anticipated that this use will cause significant air, odor, water, noise, or light pollution, and the applicant has stated their intention to utilize best practices to minimize dust, noise, odor, and light pollution. E, whether all sanitation requirements will be met. If the size and frequency of events is accurately portrayed in the formal application, then the Elbert County Health and Human Services and the Elbert County Building Department have no objection to the use of portable toilets as long as they are ADA compliant. However, if the size and frequency of events exceeds that of the formal application, then further review is needed to determine if portable toilets are acceptable. And F, whether the use will be adequately landscaped, buffered, and screened. The applicant has stated that they do not intend to make any changes to the landscape in an effort to conserve water. Staff has determined that the uses being proposed do not require screening. G, whether the use will not otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. If the size and frequency of events is accurately portrayed in the formal application, then it is not anticipated that the use will that the use will be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. However, multiple referral agencies have expressed concern that the size and frequency of events is not being accurately portrayed in the formal application. Based on the contradictions between the formal application and what has been observed, staff has determined that the use is potentially detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. Furthermore, the applicant can rectify this life safety concern by complying with the recommendation of CDOT. And H, whether supplemental standards are met for specific uses. There are no supplemental standards for this type of land use. In addition to the Elbert County zoning regulations, staff reviewed the application against the Elbert County Comprehensive Plan and found that the proposed use of the property is supportive of the stated goal that, quote, Elbert County promotes strong, diverse economic development and policies of that goal, e.g. 6, being that the county should support the development of agriculture, commerce, industry, education, healthcare, natural resource development, tourism, and residential growth. Findings and recommendation. This use is in general conformance with the Elbert County Comprehensive Plan. This use does meet the criteria for approval in the Elbert County zoning regulations. The Elbert County subdivision regulations are not applicable to the application. This use is compatible with existing and allowed land uses in the surrounding area. And this use will not result in significant impact to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents and landowners of the surrounding area. Staff and the Planning Commission recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve SU-19-0099 subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of a decision by the Board of County Commissioners. 2, the special use by review shall not become effective until all fees are paid, conditions of approval are met, and the special use by review exhibit is recorded. Recordation of all appropriate documentation is to occur within 180 days of the Board of County Commissioners' approval. 4, the applicant will comply with CDOT's final determination regarding the construction of XL-decel lanes at the intersection of County Road 37 and State Highway 86. 5, a commercial well permit shall be obtained if water is to be used for the commercial uses associated with this event center. 6, the property should be assessed and taxed at a commercial rate as it is providing a service and is not just agricultural property. This next one should actually be 7, so I'm just going to go ahead and list it as 8 here. 8, all outdoor lighting fixtures will be properly shielded from adjoining and adjacent properties and any street right-of-way. 9, signage shall be in place to identify parking areas and vehicle circulation. 10, signage at the corner of State Highway 86 and County Road 37 shall be removed from the right-of-way. 11, an updated traffic letter shall be provided to the Elbert County Public Works Department prior to approval. Please note that this condition has been met. The applicant submitted an updated traffic letter on February 9th that was was produced by professional engineer Curtis Rowe of Kimley Horn. 12, conduct an annual fire code inspection of the arena, office building, and any other associated buildings on the property. 13, fire lanes must be clearly marked on all sides of the building. 14, all points of vehicle ingress and egress must be improved to the satisfaction of Kiowa Fire District. 15, all events with over 250 attendees must have an inspection and approval by the Kiowa Fire District. 16, all applicable building codes must be met prior to receiving a certificate of occupancy. 17, a fire apparatus access road shall be designed and maintained to support the imposed loads of fire apparatus and shall be surfaced so as to provide all-weather driving capabilities and comply with the IFC section 503-2-3 fire department vehicle access requirements, and vehicle access shall be required for each building. 18, the Elbert County zoning compliance official is to verify that all conditions of approval are met prior to operation. 19, a written legal agreement will be made to address pertinent details to the decision by CDOT regarding the XL-decel lanes. And 20, should the traffic counts exceed that of the traffic letter prepared February 9th, 2021, then continued operation is contingent on meeting the standards set forth by CDOT. Thank you.
Any questions for staff? Okay. All righty. Invite the applicant to wrap up. Thanks.
Is this on? Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Maroney, P.O. Box 902, Elizabeth, Colorado. As you can see from staff's report, this has been ongoing for quite a while. I have Mr. Messer is here today, and he's done a tremendous amount of work between the anomaly that happened 6 to 8 months ago, and he had an event. It was an event for the Men in Blue and this, and they didn't expect near the type of turnout that they got, but they did, and that was 2 weeks before we were supposed to be heard, and it threw up a bunch of flags, and you all know about it. So we had to jump in. Rory wanted to see me do a new traffic study with Kimley Horn, who is the people that you guys use. We did that. That was given to Tim at CDOT. We're still waiting to hear back from Tim. CDOT, in the time of COVID, isn't real responsive to a lot of stuff. You can't sit down with them, so it's just like back and forth. But Curtis, our traffic engineer, and Tim have a very good relationship, and I'm confident that, as is Curtis, that the outcome of that will be something that the applicant can live with. As far as everything else, we met with, or Rabbi Messer met with Chris at the building department on Monday concerning the change in use. I talked to Faith on Monday concerning the change in use and what that's going to take. And I told her about the $50-some thousand figure that was thrown up there, and she said that wasn't necessarily going to be the case or not. They have to see what they paid before, and it'd be the difference between these. Okay, you guys all know where this property is located. It's not some broken down barn. I mean, it was built to code beyond belief. But they did do an inspection, correct? They did do an inspection on Monday and discussed some lighting things that need to be addressed, some exit, entry needs to be expressed. As far as the fire department is concerned, we have complied with all the fire department's needs and wants, and we have a letter to that effect. Again, the sheriff we're with, and it's just a matter of seeing what we do at the end of the day with CDOT. But we've done everything that's been asked to be done, and the change of this, the use that this is having, except for that one deal, is not changing. It's been used the same way this arena has since it was built. Small roping events, 4-H, dog shows. It really is an agricultural type deal. So I think it's good for the county, and we'll just make sure that everybody's happy at the end of the day. And I think that, I know it seems a little bit, for me and for you guys, you know, we usually, on regular zoning or subdivision deals, we only have like 3 or 4 conditions of approval. But when you're dealing with special use, we have to do these things physically before it gets done. So you have to list it in condition of approval. At the end of the day, Mike, the zoning compliance, is going to go through every one of those lists and say, this is done, this isn't done. So I'll answer any questions you have besides that.
Questions for applicant?
Yeah, I got a couple. Is that my presumption is that the applicant expects this to be a growing business?
I'm sorry?
I expect that the applicant believes that this is going to be a growing business.
That's what we hope.
Yeah.
And we've stated that. We've stated that in conversations.
And my biggest concern is health, safety, and welfare. And the lack, it's hard for me to believe you can have 200 or 250 people there and not need to use water. The whole idea of the reluctance to re-permit an existing well to a commercial well baffles me. And then the second part of it is, again, health, safety, and welfare. I can't imagine operating a business like this without an in-house sewer and septic system. And to me, those are killer issues.
As far as the water is concerned, this arena's been operating on that same type of system. No water has been used for any type of these events. If it does come up to the point to where there would be any type of a restaurant or interior restrooms or that, then we would have to re-permit that well to commercial in order to use it. It hasn't been done that way for over 15 years. People come in and they come out. And they've got the ADA compliant, not porta potties, but the trailers that come in, they're ADA compliant. Mr. Messer talked to the building official yesterday about that, and they were satisfied with it. But there's no intention to be able to use any of that water. The only thing that water is used for over there is for spraying the arena and doing taking care of a few landscaping deals. There's no consumption from the public.
On the traffic with the sheriff, you know, that he's agreed to provide traffic at those intersections and stuff. Are there any other plans in case the sheriff is not able to do that on that date due to limited resources and something else going on?
We have to coordinate that with the sheriff, and it has to be done enough in advance, because knowing the limited budget that they have, I mean, this is not being paid for by the county or the sheriff's department. It's being paid for by the applicant.
Right, no, I understand
And so
that.
it would just be a situation of having enough advance notice that if something else had to be done, we'd have to hire a private firm that would be appropriate with the sheriff's department.
All right, well, as long as there's plans, because you never know if something major goes on in this county, if they're off duty, they may be pulled off to do something else.
Right. There will be, again, it's coordinated with the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department says that they're not able to do this, then we'll have to come up with some type of private security that will be acceptable to the sheriff's department. They didn't seem to think there was going to be an issue with it when we had spoken to them, and our agreements with them, they never really even brought that up. But that would be the next step we would have to go to before an event could be held.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd just encourage always having a backup. I mean, if we could schedule crimes or traffic
Well, no,
accidents
you can't do that. We understand
services
that.
of warrants.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
I mean, I'm sure your events are probably scheduled out much farther than the sheriff's reaction to an incident. So,
And and you all know that there's cooperative agreements between departments that if we had to go to Douglas County, they've got people that want to be paid overtime. The sheriff seemed to be willing to just coordinate that. Again, it's a timing issue, and the further, the more notice we can give, the more we'll be able to know it. Again, we don't know if there's going to be a forest fire that day, whatever.
No,
So
I get, yeah,
I mean, the applicant has tried very, very hard to comply with all the concerns that the county's had, and still trying to keep this a viable agricultural need for the county. And Mr. Thayer, I will address you on the water usage and also the septic and or the wastewater. The applicant wants nothing more than to have to expand this business. And in order to do that, if they do, and they do need to use water, they'll have to do a replacement plan with the state of Colorado. I've already looked into it, okay? It's a 6 or 7 month process. It costs $6,000 or $7,000 to do. And they'll change the permit from it's an exempt domestic well right now. They'll change it from that to commercial. And if we need to do that, because we do need to use the water, then we will do it. And I have faith in zoning compliance that they're keeping an eye on what's going on over there. I really do. I mean, that's why this has been brought forward to you today. They want nothing more than to be able to expand this business to where we have to put in regular bathrooms, maybe a kitchen, maybe this, maybe that. Right now, it's just trying to keep it going. That's what we're trying to do right now. It's not, nobody's trying to hide anything under the table. I'm being totally honest with you right now. We have to take small steps. It's a lot of money. It's providing a lot of good for a lot of kids and a lot of people, not just kids. I mean, big kids like me, but I don't do that anymore because I get hurt. But it's what we want to do, and we'll do it. We will do it. It's the best I can do.
I want to vote yes on this, but I can't until there's a condition of approval because I'm looking at Stacy Reinhardt's referral right here, and it specifically states they will need to have an engineer review their operation plans to determine the adequate size for a septic system. Due to the consistent high volume of patrons, they must have a permanent wastewater treatment system.
Can I see that? I really couldn't hear you.
I'm frustrated because excuse me, I'm sorry. I want to vote yes, but I'm looking at the health, safety, and welfare part of this. Sure.
Thank you. As I stated, Rabbi Messer met with Chris at the building department on Monday, and they discussed this exact situation. Would you come up and just introduce yourself and give them your address? Okay. And just tell them about your conversation?
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you for your time. My name is Ralph Messer. I'm the owner of the Messer Arena. Our address is in Kiowa here at 33955 in Kiowa. And my background is, by the way, is NFPA 101, NFPA 96. I did this for 25 years in spec build. That's what I did for a living. When he came out there yesterday on we agreed on literally every aspect of the life safety aspect of it. And what we did is even a step higher than the septic systems and that was there. We provide 3, they're called JAG systems, where handicap systems that on the side of the building where we needed to have handicap access and whatever. And he was agreeable in lieu of trying to put in, at this point in time, I should say, a total septic system and bathrooms, et cetera, that as long as we provided, and I did 3, and that provided, our past year costed us nearly $6,000, almost $7,000 a month just to lease them, and now I have purchased them, and we put them on the one side of the building right there, and they just literally step out the exit, I should say, and has wheelchair access. It has shower systems inside of it. It has several bathrooms, men and women's bathrooms that are located there. And that he felt
Where
was
did they get
sufficient.
their water?
I'm sorry?
Where did they get the water?
The system is provided with tanks. The tanks themselves come with water in them, and that's part of the leasing process. And then after we have an event, they simply pick them up, they either pump them out and then pump new water in, or they move them to a different location.
So these are essentially containerized bathroom systems, or?
Yeah, it's contained systems, that's right. And they do that simply because they don't, it's to provide for loss control risk management. That's what I did for insurance companies, is to provide, making sure that the water systems is appropriate, because well water, for bacteria and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, thank you.
If I can just give you a little bit more. I'm sure you're all aware of the activities that go on in Franktown over at Colorado Horse Park, which is a huge event for 2 to 3 months every summer. I mean, even this summer they had it with COVID. And this is the exact same type of systems that they use. They're actually trailers. They're nicer than my bathroom at home most of the time. None of the water is supplied on site. Everything comes complete, it's shipped in, shipped out, and they come and pump them if they need to. And you're talking a month-long event at, for instance, Colorado Horse Park versus daily events.
So would you object to having included as a condition of approval that you need to receive a letter from the Elbert County Public Health Department that
I was going to suggest that. That's a great idea.
I think we need to add that as a condition.
I want to find a way to get this done, and I think we can work with them. And if we can't come to it, then we have to put in a septic. We put in a septic. That's the way it is. And I've told the applicant that.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you,
Yeah.
we take these referrals seriously.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. That if they have any concerns over septic and or water use, that it has to be addressed. And that's what's nice about the special use procedure, because these stay on record.
Yeah,
And it's an annual review.
but we'll
okay.
just add that as a condition of approval, that
Yes,
you have
sir.
to get some kind
That's
of an
fine.
agreement or letter, whatever the right terminology is.
It's perfect. Perfect.
Anything else? Okay. Yeah, just I know traffic count, CDOT's final decision was mentioned several times, but I think for the staff's comfort, do you have any issue with a condition that just monthly, the schedule of events that are set each month that are either CDS or Public Works get a listing of what events and what size is anticipated, just so they can keep an eye on?
When I talked to Rory, he was like, we're going to do random counts.
Yeah.
I said, go for it. This was a one-time deal that
Okay, no, I get it, but
threw
for
home.
now, just.
I have no
Yeah,
problem with that
Yeah, so
whatsoever.
if you can add
Yeah.
one just to provide,
No. We want to make sure that staff is happy, that you're happy, and that we can still provide this service at the same time.
I mean, I think we're all familiar with the location. I mean, I
Yeah.
drive
Right.
past it in both directions each day at least once. And, the thought of trailers stacking up on the highway or trying to get out and
Right.
make that climb on the hill
Right.
is
Oh,
concerning.
it's going to
but
be on
I
everybody's radar.
trust CDOT to come out with the right answer for that, but.
I mean, we know it's going to be on everybody's radar, so, we got to do what we got to do,
Yeah,
and we'll do it, whatever it is.
all right. All righty, yeah, and just, while we're moving on to public comment, if you can think about the verbiage for a condition that we'll have whether probably quarterly would make sense, just to
Sure.
provide a listing of upcoming scheduled events and the anticipated size
Yeah,
of the events.
quarterly, you want that?
Quarterly, I think monthly
Okay.
gets a little ridiculous.
Yeah, we can do, that'll be fine. And we
Okay.
can actually try to do it even more than that,
Yeah,
Because that just helps coordinate with sheriff,
yeah,
and
yeah. and
fire, all that. So,
Okay. No, that's good.
yeah, that'll work just fine. No
Alrighty.
problem with that.
And Greg's working on typing that up. I'd open this up for public comment
Right,
at this
if you have
time.
anything else, I'll be
Yeah.
right here.
Thank you. Hey, Julie.
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my comments. My name is Julie Atkinson. My address is 4702 County Road 106 in Elizabeth. And I just have 3 points to make. I'll make it short and sweet, I promise. I have been involved with Mr. Messer and his organization since they purchased this property about 3 years ago. When I first met with him, I asked him about his plans and what he wanted to do, and he said, well, I'd like to have like a agricultural event center, horse events and that type of thing. And the first thing I said to him was, are you sure? Because this type of thing it doesn't make any money. It is almost guaranteed to lose money, and the overhead is just too high. Any of it, I've been in the horse business all my life, and I'm an avid participant, but it's very, very, very difficult to make any money. And he said, Julie, he said, what I'm looking at is, he said, our culture, we're losing our culture. And we're losing, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. We're losing in a couple of generations, we're going to lose our culture, and we're losing our heritage in our country. And he said, I would like to help foster that. And what a better place to do that than Elbert County. And I thought about that for a little while, and I thought, is this guy crazy? But he's not. That's his agenda. And that is an agenda that I can get behind myself, and I have done everything I can to help him. I grew up in this county in 4-H, and my family was longtime residents here. I think some of you knew my mom and my dad. But we're losing it. We're losing our communication with our young people. My son is now 21 years old, and I have struggled with keeping him off of the computer and off of those darn video games. And I've drug him out of the house every chance I get to go outside and be with his horse and do that. That horse things is our deal. The second thing I'd like to point out is, he opens this arena 2 nights a week for people to just come in and ride. He charges $10. So if you go, and I encourage you guys to stop by there on a Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday or Friday, he's got it open 4 nights a week. There's 15 to 20 young people out there, and they're on their horses and they're working on things, and it's huge. It's not perfect. There's lots of stuff that goes wrong, and the other thing they're doing is they're communicating with us as the older generation. They're talking to us. We're talking to them. We're helping them. We're doing what we can to mentor them and help them. Again, with my son and our generations, we're losing that too. Our communication between the older generation and the younger generation, we're losing it. So this arena is a blessing to our community, not just to our young people, but my family. We use it. We're team ropers, but it's all walks of life. I went to a cow horse clinic there. I'm getting involved with the cow horse thing. I'm super excited. I'm 51 years old, and I'm doing something new, and I'm having a ball. And the events are not that large. We may be lucky. My husband and I help produce some team ropings, or we might be lucky if we have 50 people there on a day, and that's a pretty good-sized event. As a participant using the facilities, they've never been taxed. I've never seen anything taxed there.
Yep. Sorry to rush you, but we're a little over the 3 minutes.
Am
but
I
if you have-
over? Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Okay.
I think we should welcome Mr. Messer and his organization and do what we can to help him with this event center, because it's really providing a wonderful community service.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Do we have anybody else that would like to make comment? And my understanding is we haven't had anybody that sent any email comments or wanted to be called. So with that, I guess I will close public comment at this time and invite the...
Condition of approval 21. I think we need to beef that up a little bit. That basically states something to the effect that the Elbert County Public Health and the Elbert County Building Department will provide a letter citing acceptance of the specified water and sanitation processes, including identification of the facilities and technology.
That's fine. I think that's appropriate.
If
Yeah,
I may
think that's what
interject,
No, I think that's very appropriate. Yes, sir. I have no problem with that.
Commissioner Richardson,
Yes.
if I might interject and just suggest a short recess so we
Yeah, I was
can
just
work
gonna
on the
say,
language. I have some proposals. I don't think that's going to cut it. So I think we need to work on the language a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Why don't we just 10-minute recess, get language that you
Okay.
guys all find acceptable, and then we can proceed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks.
good.